Hi friends, Yari here with Third Eye Yari, and I am a fun and safe psychic medium and spiritual therapist who helps people awaken. Let's get on another message, and this is the Rose Oracle, and the Rose Oracle is lovely, and I think every time I use it, I'd say the same story. That when I opened it, I could feel the love, the energy. It was amazing. I have never felt an energy like that, good or bad or whatever. Um, when I open an oracle or tarot, a deck, and this was incredible. Really, really good. And if you hear strange noises, there's a storm coming through my town. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear the thunderstorm behind me, and I actually like it. It says, trust the seasons, embracing change, cycles of life, transition and growth. Beautiful. Yes, and we're changing right now. If you're watching on real time, this is the middle of September 2023, and we're just cross over the fall equinox. So yeah, it's time of transition, and we're so glad because the summer has been brutal. It has been so hot, which it's probably telling us that we're gonna have a very cold winter. Although I live in the south, so it's not gonna be all that cold, but it can get cold. It can get cold even here. So anyhow, so it's trusting in the seasons. Remember that life has its cycles, and the best way to honor that is, to bring in the colors, the smells, and the food that the earth is providing us. So eat locally and eat what's in season is the best way to bring in, ingest in your body the freshest energy and those nutrients that the earth is bringing us. So, and we also need to trust that we are also cyclical, right? We also have seasons in general, and we can think about the female cycles, the moon cycles, the cycle of a day, the cycle of an hour. We live in this eternal cycle of getting up, going to work, doing our thing, going to sleep, and starting all over again. So life is cyclical, life is not linear, right? And we need to trust in those cycles, and trying to, I think it's important to, if something is not working in your life, work within your cycle, work within your seasons, and try to make those adjustments to that are going to make it easier and better for you. Okay. Embracing change, cycles of life, transition and growth. Beautiful. Beautiful. And this is the Akashic Tarot, which I haven't used in a long time. And I said I was going to pull out the book, but I can see it right here. I got it. Right here, the Akashic Tarot. Because this is a very, very, very different deck of cards. And I like the messages, but I cannot for the life of me remember them all. I mean, I remember some, but not all, for sure. Okay, so let's get one out to see more what we're talking about. And look at this, look at this. We're talking about cycles, and it's telling us about the cycle of day and night, which is what I just said. We live in this cycle of you get up, you go to work, you go to sleep, the cycle from day and night. The Queen of Forces. Oh, I'm loving this. Let me see if I can find this quickly. I opened it up in the right page. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. The Queen of Forces. Now it started to rain. It's raining really hard. My husband washed my car yesterday. Anyhow, the Queen of Forces. This card shows a woman balancing the energies of a sun in one hand and the moon in the other, with a river flowing beneath her feet. The Queen of Forces represents a woman who can help to bring greater balance in your life. She brings an unusual combination of power and peace, creativity and receptivity in both her energy and her support. Sometimes this card can represent a person in your life, either you or another, coming into a phase of great power and an ability to sustain it with wonderful results. There is a gift of grace and a sense of understanding when this card is upright. It also brings new roles and opportunities, careers in many of the sciences, global communication, nature, and energy may now be available to you. Wow. So we're also speaking about balance, right? Balance. And whatever you have been working on is going to be successful because why? You're in the flow. You're balancing the sun and the moon. They're perfectly balanced, right? And then you're standing on a river, so you're in the flow. You're in the flow. So I think that um if you have a project if you have a project that you've been working on hard, it's starting to flow. And we had a reading a couple days ago that spoke about this. So that's very interesting. Okay, very very interesting. So I think that's reinforcement of the message the other day. Whatever project that you are working on, it's on the uprise. It's taking off. It's gonna start showing its fruit. You're gonna be able to start harvesting, and now it's the season of harvest, right? Anyhow, very good. So and this is Sacred Rebels Oracle. Let's see what else it tells us. Restore and replenish. Restore and replenish. And restore and replenish reminds me of that harvest time. You know, you take out, you harvest, and then you replant, you replenish. But look, it's also a person like curled up and maybe resting. It's like a nest. It's like a little nest, and they are kind of exposed, but they're in a little nest. So that's also what we do at night. We restore and replenish. We restore our energy, we replenish our energy, we rest and restore, right? And it's card number 38. And number 38, the 3 is that Empress energy of creativity, of birthing. We go again to your project that is flourishing now, that is going to start showing its fruit now. So it's that creative process of something new that you're birthing and that is successful. And then the 8 is that level very close to mastery. That 8 is the strength. That 8 is your your passion, your heart being your superpower, being your strength. Um, and then the 3 and the 8 makes 11, which is a beautiful master number. Is the master seer, is being very sensitive and spiritual, and working well with others and being in alignment. So all those beautiful messages right there. Okay, this is the good tarot, and there's only good things here. um, and I do read reverse. In most, I think there's one of my new tarot that I just don't feel like I should. It's weird how you sense those things. I haven't used these cards in a while, although I pre-shuffled them. I always feel like I need to shuffle them a little bit more so the energies are nice and fresh. All right. So we got the Emperor in the reverse. So it's kind of a lack of leadership. It's a lack of stability. The fact that it's a lion, I'm also thinking about that strength being your superpower, right? So this may be very well where you're coming from, feeling that all those lacks, but that's not where you're at clearly, because they already told us that, but this is where you're coming from. Aries energy. 3 of fire. 3 of fire is the 3 of swords. And the 3 of swords, it's usually heartache. But in this depiction of the 3 of swords is a woman or a female body moving in a ship that it's moving away, but it's moving towards the future. So you're moving away from this feeling, from feeling lack of leadership, lack of stability, lack of your superpower, that stuff that comes from your heart, right? So you're moving away from that and you're moving towards the future. And I see the sun over here. I mean, it's kind of hidden, it's kind of hazy, like you can see it, but not really clearly. And there's some clouds. So you can see the potential of everything that you're doing, but the sun hasn't come out yet. And then we have the messenger of fire. The messenger of fire is the page of wands. And the page of wands is telling you that it's time for action. That it's time for action, that you are moving away, but it's not only moving away from those feelings, it's also starting some action, because you are going to be successful in whatever endeavor that we're talking about here. If it's that work project or that new business, but it can also be a relationship. It can also be, I just heard yourself. Yourself can be your project. If you are doing a lot of self-care, like watching your diet or exercising or drinking more water or sleeping more, that can be your project. I need to have a better sleeping routine, that I go to bed at a certain time, so I make sure that I sleep a certain amount of hours to really restore and replenish. Okay, so it's time for action. It's time to, and she is also, that looks like whatchamacallit, Michelle Pfeiffer. Anyhow, I got really distracted by that. I've seen this card 1,000 times and I never seen that. Anyhow, it's she's also looking towards the future. So it's time for action. And then look, this is what you become. You become the Queen of Earth. The Queen of Earth is the Queen of Pentacles. Somebody that is on top, somebody that knows what you're doing, and it's financially stable. You know, you have arrived when you get to the Queen of Pentacles. You have arrived, but you continue working because you continue looking towards the future, and you continue. You know, I see a lot of earth. Of course, it's the Queen of Earth, but I see a lot of earth elements here. So is that working with others, is working with the elements, it's, you know, doing your thing, but being integrated of integrating of people and things from the earth that is going to continue to propel you into the future. Because the fact that we have arrived at a certain level, that doesn't mean that we stop working. You know, we continue because then other opportunities and other doors are going to open for us. And even with a business, we're always looking for something different. We need to keep um, businesses or even relationships, we need to keep them fresh. You know, we need to continue thinking of what else can I do to impart something new, to have an element of surprise, an element of mystery, an element of newness to keep things a little bit more fresh. Okay. And the last card is the moon, and the moon are things hidden, but I think that this card specifically is talking to me about clarity, that these are part of the things that you're leaving behind because you are working with the moon, you are working with the earth, you are working with the cycles of life and the seasons, you are balancing the sun and the moon. It told us that from the beginning. So the moon, because you are working so closely with the moon, you're not being clouded with the moon anymore. You gain clarity by working with the moon. This is a truly wonderful, wonderful message. And you can translate that message to, you know, a business, work, a project, health, or a relationship. And it can also be the relationship with oneself. I mean, we need to work and work in this relationship with the self continuously. This is a, you know, healing is one of the most important parts of the ascension process, and one that never ends. Never ends. All right, let's do the zodiac signs. I'm gonna get 3 out. It might give you a little bit more information if you don't know who we're talking about, or if you truly think that you need to be working with you, maybe your sign will come out. And the first sign is Cancer. Then we have Virgo, and we are in the middle of Virgo season. And Scorpio. All right. And then the letters, you can see your initials, somebody else's initials, but if some of the letters remind you of a word, it doesn't have to be completely spelled or correctly spelled. That's an extra message for you. Okay? And I often tell people, write down the letters and play with them. Or maybe have one of those Scrabble letters bundles that you can find at the dollar store, so you can get the same letters that I'm getting and play with them. V, as in victory or Victoria or Victor. N, or Vivica. X, C, Z, G, L, H, U. I was gonna say we don't have any vocals. And S. Any vocals, any vowels. And S. V, N, X, Z, Z, G, L, H, U, S. All right, and then we're gonna get 3 of the big terms. Oh, can you hear that? And 3 of the little ones. There's 2. There's 2 more. Okay. And we got victory again, and I think we got this in that reading that I was talking about. Your project, your business that is taking off now after hard work. So I think Spirit is really piggybacking on that message. Oh, look at this! I didn't even know. Okay, so we have 2 flip-flops. This one right here and this one right here. So the flip-flops talk to me about ease, about kind of starting into a very easy flow. And we talked about that in the very beginning because this woman is standing on water, so she's in the flow. And the flip-flops is something that you put on very easily, that you just kind of put your foot in and you continue walking. So it's that easy, it's that flow, it's that there's no struggle. You just step on it and continue your way, but with heart, with a lot of heart, with a big, big heart. Okay, and we also have the bicycle, which is also a movement, and we have movement here. We have getting away from the negativity or the feeling that you were unsuccessful, um, and the messenger. All those are calls to action, calls to movement, and then we have the little bicycle telling us that yes, that it's time to move, it's time to do something different, it's time to get going with it. And a bicycle can actually move very quickly, but not as quickly as other things, right? Not as quickly as a motorcycle or a car or a plane or a helicopter or even a boat, but it can go very, very quickly too. So it's a slower movement, but it's not a turtle, okay? It's not incredibly slow. And I think that's a good thing. Oh, and look at this. We have the seahorse, and the seahorse is the only animal, the only being that I know that as a male gets pregnant, right? So I think this is telling us that we need to think outside the box, okay? That there's not just one way to do things, that there are multiple ways to solve different issues, and you just have to be creative about it, okay? That's what the seahorse is telling me today, to be creative about it. And then we have a little girl here, and this little girl is almost talking to me about like pages in tarot, which are children, which are brand new energy. It's a way of thinking of things in a different way and in a new way, in like an innovative way. Okay, and then the last one is peace. Yes, all this process and all this abundance that you're about to get, the success that you're gonna get, is just gonna give you a lot of peace. It's gonna give you a lot of peace, which is amazing. All right, friends, very good. If you resonated with this, please give me a like, and leave me a message. Even an emoji works, but the more that you interact with the video, the more YouTube rotates it, so for other people to find easier. So please do that for me. Helps me, and I absolutely love all the messages, and I respond to every single one of them. Um, and if you would like a reading like this with a lot of details, even more details, I can do that also for you. There's a lot of services on the website, very important services, and I can help you. I can really support your path, uh, even with a reading, but more so with some spiritual therapy, definitely. So if you're interested and you want to have a conversation with me, I give people a discovery call that's free. It's 20-30 minutes, and we're looking at each other on Zoom, and we can talk about your situation, okay? And so the link is in the description box below and in the first pin message. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.